The social aspect of cruising is a wonderful one, and we've found a great way to have people be able to follow along is by having a tracker for them to do it. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley podcast. I'm sharing a review of the Garmin InReach tracker that we are using to have people follow along as we go. Happy holidays to all of you from all of us at the Boat Galley crew. We love having you along for the journey, and we love it that you are taking the time to spend with us. Hopefully you've had a peaceful time gathering with friends and family, and that your heart is full and happy as we go into the new year. The very first time that we left to go cruising 30 years ago, the only way that you could have friends and family really follow along is when you arrived somewhere and you got a phone call out to your friends and family. Do you remember AT&T international calling cards? Sometimes we even used a fax. That was really kind of a cool thing to do. You might have been able to patch through with a ham connection or somehow get an urgent message through via the single sideband, but not a whole lot beyond that. And then when we left with the kids 10 years ago, we had a blog. It was slightly better connectivity, but still a bit hit or miss. Somebody had to choose to go look at our blog. I don't even think you could subscribe back then. But this time around, not only do we have the blog and the podcast, and one of the things we're really excited about is our Garmin InReach. It doesn't offer any voice capability, but it does allow for text messages. And very importantly, for those who want to follow along vicariously, or at least to see where we are and how we're sailing, there's this tracking. There are absolutely a lot of other reasons other than just tracking to have this device. Because when it comes down to it, the cost of it and the cost of the monthly subscription is not trivial. It's not insignificant. So if the only reason to have this device was to offer tracking, there probably are other ways that you could figure out to do it. And there certainly are other devices like this. What we like about this Garmin InReach, and I believe that the Zoleo and other communicators are similar, is that it's self-contained. It can easily be grabbed as a part of a ditch kit. Unlike the Iridium Go, there's no external antenna required or hard wiring needed. So you can just grab it. We've got it in a place that we can just grab and go. You can receive messages up to 160 characters at a time, meaning that you can get weather forecasts or routing advice sent to you even when you're far away from any kind of cell service. So we can receive text messages, we can send text messages. And the cost, when you compare it to some other options like that Iridium Go, it's not impossible. You've got the cost of the unit itself, and then you have the monthly subscription. Last summer when we went cruising in New England and in Long Island Sound, we opted for the unlimited messages option, meaning that we were allowing people to message us willy-nilly, and that was a $65 a month subscription. And this time around, because we have other options for accessing weather and other ways that we can communicate with people, we chose the more limited 40 messages a month for $35. If this was the only way that you had to get weather information, and that was your only way of communicating, I would highly recommend going with a $65 a month subscription, because particularly with weather, you don't want to be worried about how many messages you're getting in. The other thing, though, that we really love about it is that if we share the link with anybody, if we put it out there, we can have friends or family or complete strangers follow along. We've loved having people text us regularly, letting us know that they knew where we were. I loved when we were on passage and I had friends who would text me through our other communicating device to say, hey, I saw you were here and you were going this fast and I'm watching, even when we were in the middle of the ocean. I love that my mother-in-law does this, even on the regular now that we're cruising, because we've kept it operational as we're cruising through the Caribbean. And sure, it's not perfect. There are caveats. The system sometimes stops sending reports, even if you're moving steadily along. And so making sure that you tell friends and family not to panic if it looks like you haven't gone anywhere in a while. I know one of the things that I sent a message to the friends that I knew who were following us regularly. I sent out a note when we hove to for the 12 hours on our passage because I didn't want people to worry. But I did get a message from a friend at one point saying, hey, your communicator hasn't sent anything out for the last 4 hours. So just beware. There are glitches. So you want to make sure that you make it clear to everybody that it's not infallible. It also has an occasional bizarre glitch in speed and especially elevation, which can be very disconcerting if somebody who is watching you is paying close attention to the height, the elevation. At one point, a friend of mine texted and said, "Are you guys okay? Because the communicator says that you are 26 feet below sea level." Nope. I promise we were never 26 feet below sea level. We are fans of the InReach. It is part of our emergency kit. It's one of multiple ways that we can access weather information and routing when we're offshore. We love that we can communicate with people. We really like, though, that people can follow us. And that does make us feel a little bit more connected in a lifestyle that in general is pretty off the grid. I can't wait to share an anchorage with you somewhere where maybe our communicators, if you have one too, tell the people we love that we are in the same place at the same time. Thank you so much for listening. We love hearing from our listeners. We love it when you share us with your friends. And we love it when you subscribe in your very favorite podcast app. Have the most spectacular week and happy New Year.